So right now I'm just gonna start creating the routing component, like how the routing thing works. So you can just Google a bunch of things, and this create routing machine layer and create control component from React Leaflet core, and it's gonna give you a bunch of like results. You can go into one of those like sandbox and take reference from this documentation, and so you can just copy paste this one. And so first off, you just have to like create a new component called routing machine .jsx, and then copy paste this thing. And then waypoints is just a waypoint has an entire array. So you can just like destructure the props and use these props inside the array like long, and then prop 0, prop 1, and then the second element would be I'm just going to show you in a second what I'm actually providing inside this prop. We don't need this one. I'm just going to say true, true, and then it's going to do all the work for me. So I'm just going to have to import the routing machine, import leaflet for routing machine from okay. Sorry, I made this mistake again. Shouldn't be the routing machine, should be leaflet routing. Leaflet routing machine. Just gonna make sure I copy the name. Leaflet routing machine, and then use props. So there's just tons of documentation. If you just browse Leaflet routing machine, you can find similar set of codes. Just make sure that you have this like map on click feature inside use effect, and then you destructure the props, and you make sure you turn all those things in false, otherwise it's going to show you some other information that you don't really want. And you can just Google this React Leaflet routing machine. I'm just going to give you an example, not this one. Here, for example, this page gives you a really nice documentation. It's similar to what I did. So you have this routing and you have this properties, and inside routing you add this set of snippet of code, and that's pretty much it. That's pretty much what I did. So I've also included some styles as well. And then import this leaflet machine. Import leaflet machine from leaflet machine, and then you have to give it like a property. I'm just gonna call it props, and give it inside this inside the curly braces. I'm gonna use an array. So I use so there's this two properties that I have inside map. I'm gonna use them. Now I'm just gonna there's going to be a whole array, like one singular array. That's how I'm using it inside the React Leaflet routing machine. The like 0 1 2 3 4. So I'm using an entire array and made of simple elements, singular elements. So what I'm gonna do is just add these two arrays. This one has a latitude longitude, this one also has a latitude longitude. So I'm just gonna use spread operator to add these two arrays. So you can, this is how you add two arrays using spread operator. You can also add objects and all that stuff using spread operator. Now in context, in conform page, you have, that's where I'm using, that's how I'm inserting the properties, right? So I'm just gonna give the values right here, and then drop off the same. That's gonna have a latitude longitude. So where can I find the latitude? So it's from the select position that we did earlier. So I'm just going to give select position 1, and then select position 2. There's going to be a lawn, and just copy paste this. I'm just going to use 2. So notice that I added like a question mark, so it just handles error well. So if this doesn't exist, the whole app is going to break if this question mark doesn't exist. And if they do exist, then it's sort of like an error handling thing, that the app wouldn't break if these values are missing. So let's see what happens. Can't resolve where, oh okay, let me just can't resolve leaflet routing machine. Okay, leaflet routing machine. Okay, Use effect is not defined. Now it's saying leaflet routing machine. Oh, okay, leaflet routing machine. So I'm just gonna have to install this library. I'm just gonna show you. So leaflet routing machine. I'm just gonna have to install this library. So right now what it's asking is just to install Leaflet routing machine, and you can just Google that routing machine and that's it. Just install Leaflet routing machine. Okay, so now it's giving me a different error. So drop off is not iterable. Drop off. Okay, and try to debug this problem. Okay. Let's go to login page. Just pick a city. There you go. Okay. So this is sort of like part of the error handling. So I can also say that if drop off exists, and if drop off exists, only then use this array. I'm not sure if it will work or not. Let's see it again. Okay, I don't see that. Drop off does not exist. Okay. I'm just gonna say okay, so there you go. If I click refresh, the drop off becomes gone, so that's why you don't see anything. So I'm just gonna remove that. Okay. Supposed to use local storage. I'm not sure why it's not using local storage. Okay, sorry. I'm just gonna start using the local storage. Just gonna remove this one. Yeah, because it's not using local storage, that's why I'm gonna redefine what pickup is, because I'm gonna import them from the local storage, because the client might click refresh, and then you're gonna have the values initiated in the context API is gonna be null again, so you don't want that. So that's why if the client clicks refresh, you want to take those values from the local storage, and the value is going to be largely static, so that's why it's okay to take it from local storage. Click refresh. See, I see this again. So now if I see a small screen, for like smartphone, this thing like occupies everything, and I don't really need this one. So I'm just gonna use like CSS. This is also going to be a little bit tricky, because what we want to do is so it has like a bunch of so it has a lot of like classes, a bunch of classes. So you're gonna need to you're gonna need to copy them. These are the classes that the leaflet is using. So I'm just gonna copy all of them, and make sure it's gone. Make sure it's invisible. Leaflet bar, leaflet routing, call up symbol, leaflet control, and I'm gonna say width is 0 pixels. So I don't want to see that, right? So I'm just, since it's coming from a toolbox, you have to use this one, important. Okay, I still see it. Let's try with some other. Now let's try with some other names that I found in the dev tools. Let's see what happens. Yeah, so that now it's gone, because the height and weight is just 0. Now it looks more appropriate, because you don't want to have that like big box in the middle, because the client would not be able to use it. It shows you pretty nice, like the highways, like points you all the highways from one end to another. It's a pretty like dense place. That's why it's very like convenient. It would be very convenient for any client to use like direction. You'll never be able to find the highways without GPS when you're in this country, because there's just so many highways, so many roads, and the population is so much. That's about it. Am I missing something? mm, okay, let's go to another page. Okay, so okay, let's just start from the beginning. Let's say I log in. It's the smartphone I want to ride, and I pick up. Let's say I live in India, Mumbai, and I want to go to Calcutta. West Bengal, and confirm location. There you go. So you're in Mumbai, and it's taking you to all the way to Calcutta, right? And those are both at the two different ends of this country. Uh, so there you go. It looks pretty nice. And then confirm, and then there you go. So that's it. Thanks for staying with me. And I'll be sure to improve on this project. Maybe add a little back end, or have like, so this is supposed to add more, like more directions, like if I want to add more waypoints, if you know what I mean. And so I'm just going to improve on this project in the next series. Thanks for staying with me, guys. Appreciate it. Take care. Bye. Okay, now I can find the stop button.